Welcome back to Bet Doctor. This is a behind-the-curtains look at how pro punters operate. My name's Samantha Jane Todd. I'm joined by DK and Scoot as we dissect what has been a huge cup week so far. Boys, welcome.
Is it what?
Yeah, I think the bookies are on top, clearly, and if you're speaking to any bookie and they're saying that they got beat, they're a liar, I think.
That cup was a big split, wasn't it, the cup?
Was this some...
Well, the heavily Tiger Moth coming after it, which looked like it was going to run it down there for the 100. And
Yeah, there was a couple of
there was a
horses.
big difference with the bookies, that result.
Exactly, yeah. Russian Camelot, my big speculator, he sort of loomed up, but there was a couple of big runs from too far back that they just spent all their tickets by the time they got to the sort of final furlong. And, yeah, I thought Tiger Moth, and a lot of people would have had Tiger Moth in all their exotics and things like that. It was a fascinating race. It was actually, I thought it was a great race and just a great spectacle. Like
So different to last year with the same horse leading. I mean, how about that, which they learned from last year that Huey went too slow on it and got out sprinted, but this year obviously John McNeil had clear instructions and he made it a race. You know, it was a proper race.
It was a great ride. And Surprise Baby was disappointing. It was off the map. I took $11. It started around the $7 mark. And it was interesting just to watch the betting around Tiger Moth and Surprise Baby just clear right out in the market.
Yeah, so that's what we got the market right. And that's, you can see, the things that appealed to us would have appealed to the computer models.
Yep.
You know, it had the wide barrier and probably the lesser jock last year. Much better barrier, better jock this year, proven at the track and distance. He was the bit run of the race last year. But that just shows, again, fast run race doesn't necessarily suit back markers. You know, they say, needs pace on so I can run on.
Yep.
Those horses couldn't get in the race because he ran such good sectionals in front. So he had to be sort of, Prince of Arran was unlucky. How stiff, like that the field didn't break up for it, held up from the 600 to the 400, it's cost it the race. You can say that last year, Real Paradiso, okay, slow pace, they bunch up. But you think in a race that's gone that quick, the field's entitled to break up for Jamie there on the turn. She was stiff.
And those market moves you were discussing, they're really hard to achieve in such an enormously liquid market. That depth of money to make a move, especially of
Huge.
like a point or more, is really hard. That takes a lot of money matching to happen.
Yeah,
so
massive.
Spot on, boys.
Just one other one.
Once again.
Pursan, what do you think about? What about Pursan?
Just out of its skin. It's just like it's been up since the Eiffel Tower, and keeps doing it, doesn't it?
I've got a story there.
Yeah, right.
So it comes down from New South Wales, turns up for Kieran Maher.
Yep.
At the Ballarat jump out. See, this might be some homework for people. Go and have a look. Go and have a look at the Ballarat jump out, 7th of April. 7th of April when it came into work. It's now November. And fair income, jumped out like a wooden win. A maiden at Echuca.
Yeah.
So it went to a maiden at Benalla. Went up 2-1 or something like that from its Sydney form. So I laid it. I was like, I'm getting stuck into this, because its last 100 metres, it was just going up and down in the one spot. And I just cannot believe it's the same horse. It's now, what's it won? 6 races and 5th in a Melbourne Cup. And it's fantastic. But that jump out, that just shows you that's why the models don't look at jump outs a lot. They look at race form. So, but
there's another thing, like Purple Sector was heavily backed. Fletch found it. A lot of smart judges found Purple Sector. It was off the map. Heavily backed. I think from 12 o'clock it was still 280 into 225 or something around that mark. But Craig Williams, he just lifted it in the home straight. And that's the difference between a strong senior rider and a rider that's sort of lacking confidence. Like Craig's up and about. He's riding well. He muscled that out of the pocket that it was in and got everything out of it to get it over the line. It was a great ride.
He's very good like that. And he's with the new whip rules, he's a very, very good at using them. He can give them a cut like on the turn, one on the inside and one on the outside to get those one-paced horses rolling. Then he's got to put it away because otherwise he'll be over. So he gets his hands going. He really well timed, with his whip, which is, the whip use is very important at the moment. Karen McAvoy obviously went over and got 50,000 fine and 13 meetings, as did Fred Kersley on the second horse in the other big race. So I think that's why he's such a great jockey. That adds to it that he's very good with his whip.
And
fabulous insight there. Plenty of strings in the bow. That's what you need in a good rider. That's fabulous. What
And
were
the
you
other
about to say, Scoot?
Yeah, the other thing I learned, and I probably already sort of half knew it anyway, but the Lloyd Kennel Spruik. There was an asterisk around Snowy's mail from the track the other day, and I've been bitten in the past before, and there was the ingratiating, there was a bit of mail for that, and Hayes put the blinkers on the 2-year-old and got the surprise over the Godolphin runner.
The blinkers, eh? The blinkers.
Yeah, the blinkers on. You said it again.
Improver. Well, with those young horses, you see it a lot. They come on early in their career, and they're the ones that can improve. The market can't find them. Ingratiating was $1.80 or something. Yeah. But here's his horse. The blinkers have added 5 links to it, and something like that. But yeah, the Lloyd Kennewell Spruik, especially on the first starters, hopefully Snowy might learn from that one as well.
Exactly. But very, very pumped up for Stakes Day, and I think the punters can get a little bit of revenge here. The cards look pretty good.
So. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and I think.
That's right, we've got a fistful of Group 1 still to go. We've got the Darley Sprint Classic, of course, the McKinnon Stakes, and we've got Casey McCutcheon joining us from MintBet, backed by popular demand. Dream Team Matt is coming in as well later in the show. He's going to talk to us, or he found obviously Colette in the Golden Eagle, but he's going to be talking to us about the Golden Gift. We hung on every word of Steve Fletcher last week. That was huge. So really excited to welcome him back on the show. So stick around.
Now, just quickly, I've got a runner, bit of self-interest here. I've got Britannicus in on Sunday, and he's in a 3,800 metre race. He's coming off a Swan Hill win, and we're sort of all roads lead to the Jericho. So I think that's on the 29th of November. The Wild Camp got a win on the board, and he's won his other start at 3,480 metres, and I think he's a sneaky chance. So on Sunday, Britannicus from the Simon Wild Camp. Make sure you have $1 on.
Employ those same tactics with a better lay, where you led all the way at Swan Hill, didn't you?
Exactly.
You jumped and see you later. So
if you want to have a sneaky bet on Sunday, check out Britannicus.
There's one. If you got anything left.
If you got anything left.
No, we should have. Saturday should be a good day.
Well, boys, who do you do your form with on the weekend?
Puntingform.com.au. They've got the best sectional database in the land, and it's just so easy. It's up on the cloud. You log in, all the details are there. You can keep your notes, and you can do the post race as well. So that's what I use.
It's a breeze to use, and I love how you can just section off things. So if you want to know how well a jockey does at a certain track, it takes literally 30 seconds to produce a report like that. It'll show you its last 50-odd starts at the racecourse, and it's really fabulous data. Keep informed, boys and girls, and stay tuned. Last night I had the strangest dream. Welcome back. You are listening to Bet Doctor. My name's Samantha Jane Todd. I've got DK and Scoot here. And we're halfway through the Cup Carnival. It's been big, but one of our biggest has been having Casey McCutcheon on the show. Welcome, MintBet.
G'day, Bet Doctors. Absolute pleasure once again. It's been a rock and rolling week, has it not? It always is. We got one more in us. Of course we've got one more in us. We've got final day, the old family day, and let's just hope it's a fill-up day.
Gee, Casey, you're huge on debut for the Derby Day preview, and mates of mine just said, mate, you got to get this bloke back on. He's a star in the making. He can tip, and he's entertaining.
Well, none of them hit the wire, though, did they, Scoot? So thanks for bringing that up. I've had to have a real lay down after Derby Day. I just thought, this is what Kementari felt at stud, just could not know one.
Couldn't land a blow. What about the Cup?
No one.
What about the Cup? No good, do you?
Cup, similar feeling. Had Surprise Baby going for a small fortune. Second horse, third horse, fourth horse. Disappointing. But you got to laud that ride. That's brave stuff. But mixed feelings, of course. Losing the overseas horse really was mixed emotions after the Cup.
What do you do after a bad day on the punt? What's your recipe?
You know what? I like to cook. I'll make a vegetable soup or something like that. So just the chopping. I think having a knife in your hand helps. But as Sammy knows, when you're on the books and you're in the ring and you've copped a hiding, you've got 5 minutes to get over it. So that's what we'll do, and we'll find more winners.
Good stuff. Now, I think we'll go in racebook order just to keep things simple here. The Queen Elizabeth looked like a raffle to me. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't want to have a strong opinion here, but I just got the vibe that after watching Ash run round up that kind of group of second raters the other day, that this has a similar feel to it. I know Ladon DeVries run well the other day in the Geelong Cup, but I kind of want to be with Pondus here. I just feel like maybe he'll just come out, get tonked in the market and flog him. I had Shared Ambition in my futures, Chapada. Chapada actually, I'm probably going to have a little Quinella. They're a sneaky Quinella. Pondus Chapada or an exacta possibly. I'm not sure Chapada hits the wire enough, but always runs well. Yeah, tough race. I really didn't want to have a strong opinion here, but what did you guys think?
I thought Pondus was the one. It was a big run in the Bendigo Cup. Had to go. Well, he did go back from the wide draw, but he can go forward. He's been forward over in Europe, and I think there's not much pace on paper there. I think Ollie might get it up the front. Same scenario. Same owners, same everything as the Cup winner, Twilight Payment, Lloyd and Joseph O'Brien. So I think this one will get on pace, and Ollie, I think it looks the one with the bit of improvement in it to me out of this lot.
I tend to agree.
Backed at Bendigo as well.
Yeah, it was heavily backed, and it was just a wow win, Pondus. And I thought there was a couple of chances. I thought Hakey ran well in the same race, and my notes was it's ready now. I've been speccing that at big prices, and I think that'll run a really big race. I thought Ladon de V was gone in the Geelong Cup and kicked hard to fight on. So I think a lot of these imports improve at their second start. And then you've got Shared Ambition. I think Flemington, it's a better setup for it there. And then True Self won the race last year, and that rounds out the chances. But if the market stays firm for Pondus case, I think you're on the money.
I love it when they heavily back one from an outside draw the start before.
Okay.
It's got a task anyway from barrier 15, and the market wants to belt it when it's got a task. now it's got D. Oliver and probably roll forward. So
yep.
I reckon it's always a good sign when they back one from bad draws.
Great insight. All right.
That's correct.
Dali Sprint. Should we talk about that? So it's a
big one.
1,200 metre race, obviously. We've got Bivouac's the favourite at $3.70, Nature Strip $3.90. Then we're out to Libertini at $6, Central Lane at $9, Haydock $10, Zutori at $10 also, and then we got Fabergino $14. I could carry on, but it's an exciting race.
Case.
It's a great race. I was a little bit apprehensive about who might show up this year with that big Sydney race that kind of rips the guts out of a few of our sprints, but no, there's a bit on paper here. So the ones obviously the big name on the page is still Nature Strip. Not that long ago, what was it, 2 disastrous trials and 3 defeats. He was the best sprinter in the world. We were talking about going to Royal Ascot, racing against Batash. Well, that seems like quite a long time ago now. He's opened up 3-1. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with him because he was very easy in the Everest. He's obviously had that super performance in this race, track and distance last year. I'll be very interested to see what happens late with him in price. I reckon he might get out. I'm drawn to the 2 runners that really got crunched, along with the winner of the Everest Classic Legend, Bivouac and Libertini. Bivouac was 20s to 10s and Libertini 9s to 6s or something. Libertini was a complete forgive in the Everest, I thought, back and wide. Bivouac's run a bottler. I know there's a few people that have been burnt by Biv, but I think that's happened at the Valley. And at HQ, it ran a great race and got bloused by the winner of the Coolmore Exceedance when Libertini and it filled the trifecta. Libertini added the drop on him that day, so I think maybe Bivouac's going to look the winner at some point. Whether you want to stick with the $4, I wouldn't talk you out of it. If you can get better, then great. Libertini does look the value, but there's a couple of others. Probably the one that I don't mind at odds. Not sure it can win, but standouts over the odds. It's been running against Classic Legend and going okay in Sydney. At SP, $6 against that horse, and you've got to respect that. So I'll probably be having something Libertini saving Bivouac. Fabergino, where does he live, DK? The racing ramp boys, 1,000 metre island.
Yeah, he'll be up the front here. He might be up sitting outside Nature Strip on its ginger.
Yeah, an interesting one.
That's it. So.
An interesting one, guys. Huey got rolled for his ride on Farnan when he went really, really quick. Will that grey him up for Nature Strip? All of a sudden, will he get it? He rides the straight very, very well, but all of a sudden he's on a speed horse now. If he goes too fast, will there be something in the back of his head, or what do you reckon,
especially with the spring he's had so far. He hasn't had the best of springs, has he? Right, going on from then. And
surely he's got the green light to put the foot to the metal, the pedal to the metal on Nature Strip. We know how Nature Strip rolls. Fabergino is the interesting runner. I don't think he can get the 1,200, but it's going to probably be the pest, and they've drawn the outside right where Nature Strip was last year. So it's got the gate it wants, Nature Strip. If they let it roll, another Jekyll and Hyde, it might be Jekyll that shows up. But Fabergino probably the one that's going to be the one putting the pressure on, and he plays a big part in the race due to that. Bivouac and Libertini, I don't know whether they're going to split or merge, so that'll be interesting. But Bivouac might face the breeze a little bit, and Libertini get the drop again. Tafane's a bit of a forgotten horse. If you give last
likes
run.
Oh, did you hear the excuse the other day? He choked down on the smoke haze. I was wondering what was going on, because he thought he would have run on with Santa Ana Lane, or, with the way the race was run, to give something. And Moroney said, the smoke haze got
That's
him.
happened to me before on a Saturday night. Cost me heaps.
The smoke haze has got us all at different times. But, if you forgive that, Santa got home and ran super in the Everest, but is he one and done these days? I think he might be, and he didn't bounce off the Everest last year after running a great race, so I'm happy to risk. But yeah, maybe Tafane's the one at odds. And how good a horse is Heathcote?
Yeah, he was good.
He's a star.
He was set up to win. I think that was his grand final the other day, and he was probably one of the only horses that was truly set for that race. I think you've nailed it here, Casey. I think the big players will come heavily for Bivouac and Libertini. I think there'll be enough that want to take on Nature Strip. Again, I think Santa Ana Lane is a value runner. If you want to go wider, I sort of found Standout also. I'll be very interested to see how he goes up the straight. So, yeah, I think you're all around the money there.
Too good. Over to the Matriarch, over 2,000 metres. I think it's good 4 at the moment. Not sure where the rail is. What are we thinking here? A lot of good runners. We've got Vanna Girl, $6.50. Toffee Tongue at $7. She's Ideal, $8. A Fair to Remember, $9.50.
Shallot,
oh yeah,
$4.20.
Forgetting the favourite here,
Shiloh
Shallot.
down the bottom. Yeah, they found Shiloh down the bottom. Shiloh. I don't know. I like Neil Diamond's song, so I'll go with Shiloh. 420. That's pretty well found, isn't it? With Declan Bates on board. A little bit apprehensive about that. And again, good luck with the mares at different times. Not the easiest race in the world to find a winner. It's a good race to be a bookie, this one, and I'm going to probably damage my reputation here and stick with my black book. As in the start of the spring, I just wrote, just keep Aristia in the back of your mind when she gets back to mare's grade. She was running around the McCutcheon last year. She wins every time that Allie's Comet runs past us, but you never know. At 34s, I might just have something to place on her. She got blouthed by Melody Bell last year in the Empire Rose. She got, as I said, ran a decent race in the McCutcheon last year and is back with the mare. She was going okay earlier in this prep, not far off the Chosen One, who's obviously put up some really good performances. So at 34s, in a race I'm not too keen to get that involved, that'll do me.
Those ones coming in through on the backup from Saturday, from the Shout the Bar race, I like Vanna Girl. She was sort of unsuited there because she was coming back in trip. She was 2,000 from Sydney back to the 1,600. Now she's getting back to the 2,000. She was strongest late through the line once Huey sort of got her going. So I think the step up to 2,000, the better draws, Huey having his second ride on her will be better off. So I liked it, and I like Paradis as well. The Paradis obviously been set for the race. She's coming through she's not coming through the backup last week. She's had one go at the 2,000 up in Sydney where she had a very strong SP, then went to the paddock. She's going really well this prep, so they were the two for mine, Vanna Girl and Paradis. I thought Shiloh was well found at the moment, even though Archie Alexander's horses are airborne.
I found this tricky. I thought Shiloh, if it runs the 2,000 out strongly, very, very hard to beat, but then you can probably, throw a blanket over the rest of the chances. Always a big fan of Fair to Remember. Aristia, Casey's mentioned. I thought Vanna Girl was huge. Similar thoughts to DK. Even Toffee Tongue, if you forgive one run, it was enormous 2 starts back over 2,000 metres. I thought it was very, very strong. But, this isn't a race that I want to play in early, and I just want to see what the market does and use that market intelligence to help me make up my own mind.
In the McKinnon Stakes, we've got a firming favourite. Arcadia Queen is $3.50 to $3.10. Mugger 2 at $4.40. Melody Bell at $5.50 on the drift there. 50 stars, $9.50. Mr. Quickie as well. Dallasan, $12. Shout the Bar, $15. And we carry on, but there's a couple more in there at the double figure odds.
This is a very, very good race. Case?
This is the matchup that has got me heavily in season. And if anything gets you in season for fellas like me, it's mares. It's a pair of mares here.
Wow.
It is the Queen of the West, Arcadia Queen. Needs no introduction. We know who she is. And the leading lady from the land of the long white cloud. Oh, nearly got there. And Melody Bell is in town to win this race. She's here to win like she was last year. She skipped the Empire Rose. And I tell you what, the possibility that these two are going to be sitting just off the speed, smoking a big pipe, ready to rev up in the straight, has got me absolutely almost distracted to the point of not wanting to look at the other runners, but this is a much deeper race. And I'll tell you what I can't find is any leaders. I can't find a speed. I'm not sure who's going to lead this race, but it could be Bossy. Bossy could be taking a leaf out of Jai McNeil's book from Twilight Payment Time, going at the 1,000, who took a leaf out of Bossy's book, 2009, So You Think, and just got busy. If he gets going, might pinch a break here. But, geez, I want to see these two mares rev up. I'm not in any way, shape or form unhappy to be taking 5-1 Melody Bell, which she will be by the looks. Muga 2, enormous in the Cox Plate, enormous. Went through the Legends Bar and got a fish and chips when he was matching motors with Armory. And kept coming. I just wonder whether, if he tacks on to, say, Skyward or the on-pace runners, he'll grind them out at just a sit and sprint. I don't think Arcadia Queen will mind that. It's just whether she's within striking distance. So this could be the highlight of the week, I think, this race. So I cannot wait.
DK, you got any thoughts?
Not definitive, but yeah, she presents as the obvious Arcadia Queen of.
She was running the race in the Cox Lake for mile.
That's right. Yeah, and she's going to get a nice run here. I remember W. Pike did say she's a bit of a tricky ride.
Yep.
So Luke Curry first ride on it. I mean, Pike will talk him through it, but she can do a couple of things wrong. Melody Bell obviously struggled, then went back to New Zealand, regained her form. She's back here. Just that little query on her back over here. Muga 2 was, huge. Did he go too big in the...
Did he form though, DK? I think she's gone okay down here.
Yeah, down here. Just this prep.
She's kind of been ridden upside down a couple of times up there.
Yeah, could be possibly right, yeah.
But the Muga 2 query I've got is a dry track.
Yeah.
Back to a dry deck. I'd have a little asterisk around him there. Yeah. I actually thought that, speaking of the speed in the race, I thought Sky would go forward, agree, and then Jamie Carr, now it's got this inside draw.
Dallasan,
Dallasan and Pike to Carr. I think Jamie will just take the bull by the horns here, and it could give a bit of cheek. I thought 50 Stars was the other runner that you guys haven't mentioned, suited now 2,000. It looks absolutely grand final day for it, but I think you're right again, Case. Arcadia Queen and Melody Bell, this just could be the icing on the cake for Cup Week, and it just stamps itself as a massive finale here for a great week of racing for sure.
Been building 50 Stars to this run. Yeah, it was great in the Cantala. Like the others, we'll probably sit off the speed and get home, really rattle. It's pretty well found at $10 against a couple of these horses though. But it's a group performer. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to pot Arcadia. I potted her into the Cox Plate Arcadia Queen. I just didn't like the way she'd been launching off slow tempos that she wasn't going to get. I thought hard run, Cox Plate, soft track. She's a massive lay, and she just about fell at the 1,000. And no sooner had she done that, she picked herself up and got busy and ran a great race. It was a best race of her prep, I thought. And so, if she bounces off that and is within striking distance, as I say, I just can't wait to see how this pans out, this race.
What about your best...
Mr. Quickie's probably another one we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think he's suited. I think he's just an out-and-out miler. I don't think the 2,000 metre suits him. I think he's had his chance. And what was your best bet for the Flemington card, Case?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with Melody Bell. I'm excited about having her in town. I just think that they have targeted this race. I know the horse has bounced out of the Cox Plate fine. She's here to win this race, 2,000 metres, number 13 on the for her Group 1s. 2,000 metre Group 1 in Melbourne. She won the Empire Rose last year. She's just irresistible, and I'm just hoping that she can produce and show us what she's all about. But the play might be, as it was with Nature Strip in the Everest, the Irish Concession bet. So I'm going to back her to win. She's won 17 of 34, Melody Bell, so I'll take the 5-1 to win. But I might just lay her the place. She's only run a place 6 times, so she either turns up or she doesn't. So the Irish Concession, it worked a treat in the Everest for Nature Strip, who's that kind of horse as well. They either show up and blitz or they don't. So I'll be having that little play.
DK, you got a best for Flemington?
Pondus? Yeah, Pondus. Yeah, thanks, Scooty, for reminding me of that. Yeah, no, Pondus looks my best there for sure.
I don't really. Yeah, I can't say that I've got a best. Hopefully, Shiloh can run the 2,000. If you think that she's a 2,000 metre horse, I think it's the way to go there. Case, you've been enormous. I think you're stamping yourself as a bit of a regular. The fish and chips at the Legends Bar at the Cox Plate. Do you pre-write those gags, or they just come out naturally?
Oh, it's all organic, mate. But, let's hope we can get one to salute the judge this week. That's the name of the game, all right? We can talk all day, but we need one to weigh in, you know.
Fantastic. Thanks, mate.
On your case.
Thanks for having me, guys. All the best.
That was Casey McCutcheon. You can find him on Twitter on @mintbet. Next up, Sydney. If you're having a bet this weekend, head to topsport.com.au. They're offering 110% markets, 3 p.m. every Friday. That's a special for the Spring Carnival, all these Group 1s. Make sure you're getting set. They bet big, guys, so stake appropriately. They will let you on. Call 1-800-858-858 if you're concerned about your gambling. You're listening to Bet Doctor. My name's Samantha Jane Todd. I'm here with DK and Scoot. It's time to take a little look at some Sydney form, I think, and we've got none other than the great Matt Taylor from Racing Rant to join us. Hi.
Hi, Sammy. How are you?
Doing better after backing Colette. Thank you very much. Well done.
Yeah. We nice result there. It was firming up nicely all week, and then there was a late drift, so I got a bit worried. But we got the nose down on the line, so that was very nice.
Gee, we copped a bit of flack for not having you on the Melbourne Cup edition after the Colette win.
Yeah.
We are sorry.
My fans are out in force, weren't they?
Now, this week,
I needed a break.
did anyone know that the Melbourne Cup was on on Tuesday up in New South Wales?
No, not really. We had a big day in Sydney, but not too much talk about the Melbourne Cup up here in New South Wales. The media don't like to talk about Victorian races, but it's a great race. I love the Melbourne Cup. It's one of the, probably most of you guys would agree, it's the race that got us interested in racing. So I love it. It's a great day.
Do you think Peter V'landys has pulled the wrong rein with scheduling Origin on the same night as the Trump election?
Well,
no
the
doubt.
match no doubt. The match had an awful feel to it last night. There's no intensity, but I don't know. Ratings will probably be down. So I think PVL has done a bad job there. PVL.
Speaking of
what's going on?
PVL, I think you'd have a big hand in naming these races. The Golden Eagle, I saw the big statue. It's probably a better a better spectacle than the mountain that they put at the Bondi Pool. But the race this week we're going to talk about is the Golden Gift. What is the Golden Gift? Is that a golden egg from the Golden Eagle? What do you think the Golden Gift is?
I don't know what the Golden Gift is. Because I don't really want to say when I think of a golden gift what it actually is. But,
You can't say.
I don't know. Golden gift, silver eagle. They're very predictable, isn't it? But I don't know what it is. But apparently it's a race for 2-year-olds or something. So anyway.
Yeah, it is. It's an
I have no idea.
1,100-metre race.
1,100-metre race. The horses have had one start. A couple on debut, so I don't know. It's very tricky from a form point of view, and especially with a bit of rain about in Sydney, you sort of always want to favour horses that have had some racing. It's pretty hard to win first up on debut on a wet track, but I think the market sort of is obviously going that way as well with all the favourites sort of who have had race starts. So. Tricky race, but we'll have a crack.
It's an interesting one. The favourite, Captivant. That Victory Vane form. It's never really the strongest, but it was super professional on debut. I thought it was a great win. What were your thoughts?
Yep, definitely. Yeah, I had to sort of side with it. Look, it did get a nice sort of run from barrier 4. And out to barrier about 8, sort of without scratching so far. So, I might have a little bit of a tougher run, but at that time of the day, being drawn a bit wide might be a positive. Look, this Melbourne horse you guys have sneaky 5. I don't know what DK thinks, but the ratings just didn't come up on my stuff. I don't understand why it's 480. DK, can you give me any push there?
Yeah, similar. Never rates really well, that race on Cox Plate Day, that 2-year-old race.
Was it?
Yeah. This had every possible. Sat in the 1-1, and Jay had Jay Carr, who was on fire on the day. So, look, it'll map well, but you'd have to say that's a negative rider change, and travelling, didn't rate all that well. So, I would. If you got a couple of smart ones up there, I thought they might have its measure.
Yeah, question for DK actually. Winker's first time on Captivant. What's the difference between winkers on and blinkers on? I guess they're less severe than blinkers, but
less severe. Yeah. So that's especially with a young horse. The blinkers can get him going.
Rev them up too much.
Yeah, rev them up, get them over racing. Mm-hmm. So they're just that lesser one to say, okay, he can race a bit keen, but we do want to put the blinkers on.
Yep.
We might err on the side of just something a bit softer, and the winkers just don't focus them as much. So they're sort of a halfway to blinkers sort of thing. So, you'd see more on horses who can race keen or who they don't want over racing early in a race.
Would you agree with that, Matty?
Yeah, definitely. It's bizarre. Like, the horse has done everything right on debut, and they've made a gear change, which I don't like that. But I'm stuck with it though. Definitely, I've got it on top. 340, it's pretty tight, but it definitely is on top for me. Ghost Rider, who's from Queensland. Similar story. This is not a high rating race, and it didn't run any great figures up in Queensland. But doing it at that distance is probably a positive. I think Captivant, something we've talked about with you guys, Captivant was a 1,000-metre race up to 1,100. So maybe a few questions there. But, definitely number 2 on top, Captivant. And from the trialers, number 7 for me, Hunman. It's a stable. Well, so those colours, I think it's the Orbis colours. They seem to find really good horses, and I like its trial. So at $17, I think it's sort of a good roughie.
The Hawk stable's going really well at the moment, isn't it?
They are. They're a target stable. They just look for the good horses and, try and win the big races, and that's what they do. So they're definitely, this has been a plan for this horse all along, and drawn probably the form jockey in Sydney, Tommy Berry, and barrier 3. I think that could start shorter for Hunman.
We don't make your life easy. We love to give you the worst race or the trickiest race on the card. Which race have we given him, Sammy?
The Hot Danish Stakes. It's a 1,400-metre race. It's a soft 7 currently at Rosehill, I believe. And we've got Madame Rouge, the favourite, $5, along with Sabatiano. And then you've got Positive Peace at $6.50. Wonderbar at $6.50 as well. Sweet Deal. And then we're out to Subpoenaed at double figures, $14. And Drifting.
What a great mare she was, Hot Danish, wasn't she, Matt?
She was, yeah. She was a marvel for Les Bridge, I think it was. And, that was sort of when I was getting into racing. Hot Danish was sort of one of those horses that was around, and I loved her. She was beautiful.
The field doesn't quite stack up. It doesn't do it justice. But who you got on top here?
Look, I'm predicting sort of like a seven-way sort of go across the line here. No horse stand. Yeah. I'm not going to say a 7-way dead heat, but it's just on ratings and form. This is such an even field. I'm just going to have to lean towards Madame Rouge, unfortunately. It's not that exciting. I wanted to go a little bit rougher. She's been racing at the top level in Sydney before she went down. Sorry, she went down to Melbourne for a couple of Group 1s there, some Group 2s, and got the softer track last start and did accelerate pretty nice through the line. So looking at a race where I think it was going to be 4, 5, 6, 7 horses across the line, I think Madame Rouge sort of deserves her place on top. But I think you get a better price than $5 as well.
Okay, I was just saying one thing I noted here, Matt, was you don't see Chris Waller outnumbered as a trainer in a race very often, but he certainly is here with Chris Lees having 4 runners. Has he become a really big stable up there, has he?
Yeah, he has. He sort of based himself in Newcastle, but he's got a stack of numbers, and he he's just hitting some form at the right time. His stable was a bit off recently, but over the last couple of weeks he started to train some winners. So look, he's been a bit disappointing, I guess you would say, from a big stable point of view. But I guess this is his time to sort of start getting some winners, and he's obviously targeted this race. But for me, look, it's just so even. Wonderbar, I think you guys were pushing a bit last week. It was very close to having a win. Holds on Evelina. I'm slightly concerned, Evelina. Once you jump off a horse, there's a really good jockey change there to Tommy Berry again. I'm going to have to risk it. But, it's such an even race that Madame Rouge, I think, just has a little bit of class. He's well weighted and enjoys the sort of sting out. So I'm going to go that way, number 2.
Cool. You got anything else early in the card for us? You like the roughie?
I did find one in race 3. It was very rough. Number 9, live in the fast lane. And, it's $21, I think, with Top Sport. And really good run at Kensington last start to a horse called Le Gay Soleil, who's pretty progressive. Gets down, got no weight, 50 kilos, wet track, I think would be suited. And at $21, I think you guys could have an each-way lick at that.
Might get you back on the show, get the fans.
Yeah, something. We need to keep getting winners up. But, tricky day at Rose Hill, but there's some value in race 3 for us.
And before you go, Matt, what's one of your favourite punting tools? Is it something like speed maps? Is it watching trial or race replays? Betting drifts like market patterns from previous race meetings? What's your go-to?
Yeah, well, my pearl is the post-race. I think DK spends a bit of time on that as well. But, I spend most of my time on post-race, so looking for horses that are sort of unlucky in run and accelerating through the line. I sort of record those, and basically once the time comes to doing the form, I basically only got a few options of horses I can back. I don't back horses that I haven't had sort of positive video comments for. So that's how I've decided to do my form recently. So lots of visual stuff, and post-race is where I spend all my time. I definitely don't spend much time on speed maps and all that other, there's plenty of edges everywhere, but there's only so many hours in a week. And, I'm definitely a post-race man, I'd say.
I reckon that's good, and that's one thing I've got to be careful of. You can get what's called paralysis by over-analysis. Mm-hmm. So if you do everything, the data and this and the speed maps and the videos and the times and the sectionals and this, you can just say, as Matt says, he keeps it simple. He's got his method. That's what we all try and do, and what works for you, and that's the best way.
Thanks, Matt.
No worries, guys. Have a good weekend.
Fantastic, Matt. And I can back up what Matt says there. I went to Bali with him on a holiday once upon a time. It feels like a lifetime ago, but Matt just sat there. We were ready to go to the pub, and he just sat there doing race replays, and then we were like, come on, let's go for a beer. But he's just meticulous at watching the tapes, so he pours the hours and hours in. So great little bit of insight there, for sure. What's up next, Sammy?
If you're doing your own form, make sure you head to puntingform.com.au. It's Australia's best online form guide and database. You can do all of that there. You can build your own speed maps and the rest of it. Next up, we are heading to Steve Fletcher, the absolute star of the show. Stay tuned, guys. Welcome to Bet Doctor. My name's Samantha Jane Todd. I've got Scoot and DK here, and we're welcoming to the show the one and only Steve Fletcher.
Fletch, can you name that track?
Boomtown Road, that's too easy. It'll be harder.
Now,
I was expecting Paul Lukakas or someone really ran.
I was trying to get you with the piano, the walking in Memphis Mark Cohn. I'm going to have to try a little bit harder, but for those listening at home, Steve Fletcher is the king of one-hit wonders. So slide into our DMs, and if you think you've got a song that can stump Fletch, send it in to Bet Doctor or Little Birdie podcast, and we'll get him. This guy is unbelievable. I sent him a couple of bars the other day of the song Break My Stride. He gave him 2 seconds, and he got it. He's unbelievable. So he's our rock whiz. But Fletch, you've started the service on Little Birdie, the Fletcher Files. How's Cup Week been for you?
Cup Week's been okay, I think, just in front. There's a couple of shorties got home on Cup Day we liked. Saturday I got a little bit stung by that outside fence with Fiesta. A lot of people didn't. But that might work in the favour today. So, just in front at the moment. I think it'll play similar today. You'd expect it to, wouldn't you?
Yeah. How do you handle losing runs? Obviously, you bet a lot, and you just you bet nearly every day. How do you handle a downturn in results?
Look, I think after 30 years, you almost get immune to it, as best you can. But you just got. I think the idea is just to keep telling yourself there's no last race. Just because it's the last race on Saturday doesn't mean you bet more because you're behind, because it just rolls into the first race for the next day. So that'd be the best way I think I could describe it. You don't bet up just because it's the last, because it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It doesn't justify it.
And what about the big feature races? Obviously, the Melbourne Cup, everyone likes to invest a lot of money there, but for someone like yourself, you're more inclined to bet more or try and get on for more at the provincial meetings. I guess the age-old fable is, the same price winner is at, they still pay $2 at the bush rather than $2 in the city. Is that something you subscribe to?
Oh, absolutely. I'd rather have 100,000 on a doe and dog than a Melbourne Cup favourite. If you can get it on.
Just a little humble brag there.
DK
I like it.
sings from the same hymn book. DK's a big provincial man.
Yeah, that's right. They pay the same, and I mean, as a betting race, it's my lead in the Melbourne Cup, so I love it as a spectacle and because I've loved it since I was a kid. But as a betting race, it's I'm nearly forced to have a bet in it just to have a bet in it. Where I'm quickly want to get to a Chuka with 1,400 maidens on. Where's the good thing? And,
That's right.
So,
Have you had any?
Early race.
Have you had any sick beats this week, Fletch, or can you remember your sickest beat of all time?
Not hard to remember. It's in play at the moment. Donald.
Yeah, SJT's handled the election quite well. She took $2.94 on average Trump, and she's traded out $1.36 Sammy Jane Trump. Hey?
I traded out at $1.38. You beat me. But what a dog's breakfast the whole thing's been going.
It's been huge. Truly historical moment. This is unbelievable stuff.
Apparently, it was going to be the worst result for every corporate in Australia if Donald won, which now means it's the best result they've all ever had. And after the Melbourne Cup, they wouldn't be able to count it.
Yeah, we said that earlier. It's been definitely the carnival for bookies, and I was going to get Tristan on the show, but I couldn't really cop him gloating or just the spring in his step. But we're going to fight back on Stakes Day, and if people want to jump on the Fletcher files, I think we're doing a special for Stakes Day through to Winterbottom at $66. So that's about 8 meetings betting with you, Fletch. And I guess the best thing about you is you're betting at all the different country and provincial tracks. So if your Metro form, Fletcher will help you out wide, won't you, Fletch?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, they bet Australian dollars everywhere, so it doesn't matter where you bet as long as you win.
Exactly.
He's self-made and he puts his money where his mouth is. Are two things I love. Thank you very much, Steve.
And you, Fletch.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Right.
That was Steve Fletcher. Hey, if you want to grab some of his files, make sure you head to littlebirdie.pod.com.
Yeah, head to the shop. There's a little page there, little banner, a little cartoon of Fletch himself, the Fletcher files. I think it's $66 until Winterbottom Stakes. Fletcher's set to interpret it. His best stuff's out wide, so I'd be betting up more on the provincial runners. I think we've had bets at Dubbo this week, Canberra, and so yeah, if there's a shorty out in the provincials, it's going to run a massive race. Most of the horses that he backs runs first or second, so it's definitely good value there.
I've done well out of it.
Yeah, it's been it's sort of kept me afloat. I've found Flemington super hard, and I think it's a tricky card on Saturday. I think Pondus. I think you found one there, DK. The McKinnon's going to be a great race. I think Libertini's probably going to run a really big race in the Coolmore Stud. What was your favourite part of the show, DK? Or you got a pearl for us? Or
Pearl. I got a tip. Loaded affogato. You had one of them? Got back to the restaurant for the first time last Saturday night. There it was. Affogato, the coffee, the ice cream with the frangelico on
Best
top.
of both worlds.
Hard to beat. And this Saturday night I'll be having the lobster fluffy omelette. First time back at the tea house.
Wow.
One of our joints. How long since we've been there?
I've forgotten what a long luncheon feels like.
All the visitors from interstate normally get to the tea house. When they come down for the carnival, get to the tea house or the flower drum and have the lobster fluffy omelette we're having at Saturday night. So I'm looking forward to that. That's my tip.
SJT?
DK's doing all right.
Yeah.
My favourite part of the show has been, well, actually we didn't mention it, Top Sport has really kindly donated $500 to the Movember charity campaign. That was because Surprise Baby missed, unfortunately, but Tristan was really lovely. He's supporting the cause regardless and gone halves with us.
Yeah, fantastic. And a little bit of mail. We're going to get another stream up and going. So stay tuned to the Little Birdie podcast Twitter handle. And, wait for the big news. But we'll do a live betting stream with a couple of pro punters this month in November. Can't wait.
Should be big.
Get excited.